So as I've hinted at already, I have already started my next book. And again, like what I did last time, I picked out the book yesterday in case I needed to order it. So I'll put that clip in here. So it's past Bethany here. I'm about to finish my book tonight, so I need to get the next one ordered if I need to order it, or get it installed on my Kindle ready to read, so we'll see what happens. So I've got the basket here. The numbers are getting quite low now. I was thinking of putting it into like a smaller dish, but because, I don't know if you can see, they keep like folding into each other. So I've shaken them all up. I can't actually see, but I'll close my eyes anyway. What we got next? Oh, okay, I'm happy with this because I wanted to read this author. So my next read is a romance one. It's Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I mean, if I didn't take it out here, I was hoping to pick it up for my when I'm on holiday and read it there. But I am happy. I wanted to read a bit of Emily Henry, so we're going to do a bit of romance, and yeah, that's my next read. So yes, I am reading Beach Read by Emily Henry, which was a very happy choice for me because I was planning on reading all of her books this year. I mean, I was planning on taking them with me on holiday and buying them on Kindle and then just sitting there reading them, but whatever, I can read the first one now, it's fine. Obviously this one came out last year, so it's not her first one that she's written, so I will go back to the others, and she's got one coming out, I think it's next month, which sounds right up my street because it's a fake relationship style romance, which I quite like. I don't know if you can see the To All the Boys books behind me, but I like that concept and that style, that trope, I guess is the right word. So I've made a start on that. I think I've read about 3 chapters in the prologue and I'm finding it enjoyable so far. It's quite funny. They're hinting at other things happening that we haven't been told about yet, and past relationships and things, but yeah, it's good so far. But I'll save all this for the beach read vlog. Evening guys, it is Friday. This is my first check-in actually of this vlog, which isn't great, but I did the same thing last week. It's fine. We've got lives, we're busy, you know how it is. So I've just finished work, it's Friday, and have a nice chill weekend, so there might be a few more updates. I'm hoping to read quite a lot this weekend, fingers crossed. I needed a chill weekend after last weekend. I need a healthy weekend. I need a detox weekend. I just need a pamper weekend. I just need a weekend. What else can I say? So reading update, I made note of it, 31% into Book Lovers. Yeah, Book Lovers, not the one that I said in my video, which I can't even remember what one that was. Beach Read? Beach Read. It's because they've both got books in their name, like, it's not my fault. But I am enjoying it. As a girl who doesn't read romance, typically, like even my fantasy, a lot of people I know read, not a lot of people I know personally, but people like to have romance in their fantasy, where it ends up being more of a romance with a side of fantasy rather than a fantasy with a side of romance, which is what I prefer. But hey, people like what they like. That's what people like. And people like Sarah J Maas and people like that. But it's fine. People have their own interests. But maybe I will start liking Sarah J Maas after reading Emily Henry, because I am quite enjoying the book. Really enjoying it. I'd say I'm 31% in, because I'm reading it on Libby. As I said before, with book borrow box, the pages are a page like that. So I know the book's only like 350, 400 pages, but on my version it's like 650 or something. So yeah, I'm roughly about 200 in page-wise. Yeah, really enjoying it. I quite like their relationship. I'm trying to look for red flags, haven't seen any yet. Although I feel like it's moving a bit too quickly for my liking, considering it was their second meeting and they were getting off a little bit. But hey, I quite like their banter. I quite like, I mean, they were emailing on and off, but it was only on that trip. I quite like the coincidence as well. I quite like that it's kind of enemies to lovers. I don't mind enemies to lovers. Although it's not fully enemies, they sort of, well, she disliked him on their first meeting. He may have liked her, maybe, but I quite like it. I quite like the look into the publishing industry as well. So she's an editor. I'll go, yeah, what is the book about? This is what people want to know. So she's an editor. No, she's not. She's an agent. He's an editor. And it basically starts with her bringing a book to him. And the book is set in this small town called Sunshine Falls, which he claimed didn't exist. He didn't want the book for no reason, so she managed to get it edited by someone else, and it became a worldwide hit. She's got a younger sister who's currently pregnant, and her younger sister is seeming a bit off, and she just wants a break away for a month. Apparently the publishing industry kind of takes a dip in August, so usually a lot of the industry take a month off. So they're using that month. She's still working while she's on holiday, but basically she's convinced to go on holiday to Sunshine Falls because her sister loves the book that was published. And who does she see there? But idiot. I say idiot. Rude. He's not rude. He's like stubborn and... How do you describe him? We'll just call him stubborn. Stubborn editor guy is there, and it turns out he's actually from there, and that's why he didn't want to publish the book. And now this author who published who had the previous book, which went famous, now has another book coming out, which looks like it's written about the main character. And the little bit about the main character, so she's... If you've ever watched like a rom-com film where a man will like leave the big city to go to a small town and fall in love with someone there and leave his girlfriend, she's that girlfriend. She's the one that always got left in the big city. She's self-assured, she knows what she wants, and she is very good at hiding her feelings. And she likes her comforts, she likes making money, and she loves New York. She'll never leave New York, basically. That's the type of person she is. She might come across as a bit bitchy to people. She might come across as stubborn. She has like checklists when she goes out on dates because she's had her heart broken before and she wants to make sure that the guy she ends up with is perfect. And she's very set in her ways. And now she's getting to know not idiot. I keep calling him an idiot. He's not an idiot. Stubborn editor guy. We'll call him that. Charlie, I think his name is. And she's now was getting to know him. I'm guessing it was... So they were drinking a lot. I'm guessing the alcohol was the reason why she started getting off with him. And she smartly stopped herself. Although maybe people that like spicy books probably wouldn't say smartly. I like how it's written though. I like the banter between them. It's quite funny. And the flirtiness and yeah. So enjoying that. Still listening to Educated, but I haven't listened very much. I'm 33% in. And I obviously cited that before, Book Lovers. It is Book Lovers. I need to keep... This is what I mean. All the books are called the same thing. Yeah, I am enjoying Educated though. It's very shocking. Honestly, the child abuse, the mistreatment of her one of her brothers was like almost burnt alive. Yeah, he was burnt alive. Yeah, it's just... it's insane. I don't really know what else I can say about it other than it's just so shocking, but I knew that going into it that it is a Death Day cult. It was quite funny when she said that they were preparing for the 2K clock thing that was happening, and they sat up all night waiting for the world to end because that's when Jesus was going to come down and redeem them all, and they'd like stocked up on fuel and food and things like that ready for that. And Dad was claiming, we'll be the safest, happiest people left in the planet because everyone else will die or they'll be coming hunting for our fuel and stuff. And then obviously nothing happened, as we all know. Yeah, I thought that was quite funny. And then her dad just never mentioned it again, apparently. And what's she doing now? So she started taking singing classes and acting. Was it acting? Yeah, acting classes, and she's really good at it. So I'm guessing that's going to be her way out. And she asked if she can go back to school, and her dad didn't answer. So, or not even go back to school, go to school because she hasn't been to school before. Oh God, but so difficult holding a phone. It gets quite heavy. Yeah, it's interesting. I recommend giving it a read or / listen. I'm listening. Both of these are on Libby at the minute. Yeah, we're almost at the end of March. I'm almost at the end of this challenge. Depending on how much I can read this weekend, I might be able to get one more book in because next week ends on Friday. And I typically finish these around Tuesday, so if I pick out a short book, I'll just do that. But anyway, I'm gonna go make some dinner. I'm home alone pretty much all this weekend. Chris is on late shift, so he's out every afternoon and evening at work. But I'm having a chill weekend. I might do some baking, I might film that. I'm gonna try and have a bath. because last time I had a bath and I read in the bath, I was so content. So especially as I'm reading on my phone, I'm going to do that. Might try and do some decluttering. Saints are playing. I think they're playing at 5. The Women's Six Nations starts tomorrow, so I might try and watch some of that. Yeah. Rugby weekend, chill weekend, pamper weekend, baking weekend, and reading weekend. That's what I've got planned. So I might pop in with some more updates. We shall see. If not, I'll probably do an update on Monday morning like I usually do, but I'll try and do an update. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Good afternoon, guys. It is Saturday afternoon. Happy Saturday, even though you won't be watching this on Saturday, but happy Saturday. Hope you're all okay. Just a quick reading update. So I'll start with my audiobook. So Educated, I'm at about 50%, just under. God, here's my eyes. Really, really good. Really enjoying it. Very scary and upsetting. I've just hit part 2. Where she's about to go to college, which is incredible considering she didn't get a formal education. She managed to teach herself enough to be able to get herself into a college, which is so cool. I'm so proud of her. The growth already from the start of the book. Obviously she's grown up. She was probably 4 at the start of the book and now she's coming up to 18. So obviously she will grow a lot, but her growth and her understanding that what her family is like isn't normal is incredible. So I clap her, even though she's a fully grown adult woman at this point. But yeah. And now I'll go on to Book Lovers. I'm at 60%. I am really enjoying Book Lovers. And this is coming from a girlie that doesn't read romance. Maybe I'm becoming a romance reader. Oh no. Definitely going to read the rest of Emily Henry's books, but as I said before, I'll probably save them for a holiday. Even though I don't feel like you need to be on holiday to read Book Lovers. Maybe beach read, you probably do. I really like the small town setting. I like the fact that she's got this sort of like bucket list that she's trying to tick off, and she has to tick it off now, and she's sort of ticking it off by accident without realising that she is at times. I feel like she might tick off a horse riding one soon. I quite like that she's realised that she actually likes Charlie, and she gets a bit jealous over him when he was chatting to another woman. I like Charlie as well. I don't think he's really my type. I need someone that's more, I was going to say more kind. It's not that he's not kind. It's just that he's more sarcastic than I'd normally go for, let's say that. But I like their flirty banter and I think they're quite good together and quite funny. I just want to know what's happening with her sister. Her sister like stormed out and had an argument, some sort of argument on the phone, and she's being a bit off and she's hardly even speaking to her husband when they're there, so I'm guessing they're having a fight, but I don't know, maybe she's leaving him or something, who knows. And considering her sister is 5 months pregnant as well. Yeah. So I'm all dolled up for once. You can see me wearing makeup, although it's not actually standing out that well on camera. I don't know if it's window lighting. So Saints play at 5:30. I've just had a bath, so it's quite dry. Wait. If you're a curly, you'll know you can't blow dry your hair really. My hair ends up like out here, like an afro, or I call it a triangle. It goes like, I think I like the description I saw from The Princess Diaries. I don't know if it was just in the book or if it was in the films. I used to love them books when I was younger. Maybe I am a romance reader. Maybe I'm what's the word? Like a secret romance reader. Anyway, yeah, I always describe my hair as being like a triangle, so I have to leave it to air dry. So I mean, it's dried quite a bit already in the past hour, which is good. And then I can do my main video, which would be already out before this, so maybe I'll link it in the top. So click up there, click there. If you want to give that a watch. If you follow me on TikTok and Instagram, you may have seen some of the things I'll be discussing in that anyway, but I'm not giving it away in case you haven't watched it yet, so give that a watch. So yeah, I've got the Saints game kicking off at 5:30. I believe the England-Scotland game is already decided or about to start, so I need to run down and watch that. The Six Nations game, I should say. Rugby girl. Yeah, had a really nice bath. I have read about 100 pages today of Book Lovers, considering about last year I would aim for about 30 pages a day, increase it to 60 at the start of this year, and now just based it on the amount that I need to read to finish a book in 7 days. Does anyone else do this where they have like a sort of target each day? And sometimes I hate it, sometimes I don't. So my target for this book is, because I'm reading it on, I've mentioned this like every single video now, but because I read it on a digital book, on Libby, on the app, it's each page is classed as a page. So in real life, the book's like 350 pages, whereas my version is like almost 700. So I need to read roughly 100 pages a day to read it in 7 days. That's maths. I think it's something like 95 pages a day or something. And I've already done that today. So I'll try and get some more reading done later on. I'll obviously do what I normally do and read before I go to sleep. But yeah, it's a good day. And I'm gonna make a stir fry for dinner. My chicken's marinating. It's like a Chinese style chicken with like veg and noodles, which I quite like making. It's quite healthy as well. If you're trying to be healthy, it usually ends up around 500 calories. I better go down and put the rugby on and see how the England women are doing. They're actually playing, I think I've already mentioned this, some of that. They're actually playing at the Saints ground, which is just down the road from me, next weekend, but sadly can't go because Chris is on late. I mean, I can go on my own, but I'd rather go with Chris because I think he'd enjoy it as well. But we need to cheer on our girls. So yeah, I better run off and watch that. So I will probably check in with you again tomorrow. I'm going to try and do some baking tomorrow, so there might be some clips of that. They are going to be Christmas cookies, but it's fine. It's only 3 months late. What's the date today? It is the 25th. It's only 4 months late. It's fine. You can eat Christmas cookies whenever. That's the joy of Christmas. Christmas is all around. But yeah, right, I'm going to go now, and I'll speak to you in a bit. Goodbye. Afternoon, guys. It is Sunday afternoon, and as I mentioned yesterday, I'm actually finally getting around to doing some cooking. So I'm going to be making these vanilla cookie biscuit things which are snowman ones, and I'm going to keep them snowman themed. I was thinking maybe I'll do them in circles, but you know what? I know we're in March, but we may as well celebrate Christmas every day. It's the best time of year, isn't it? So yeah, let's start doing some baking. I need to preheat the oven because I haven't done that yet. These don't look too difficult. Obviously, it's a pre-mixed bag. What we got in here? So we've got some sparkly sugar and the mix. And all I have to do is add a bit of water, a bit of butter, and 1 egg to this. And no, I'm not a Tory. I know we've got Lurpak. We keep getting lucky with when we buy Lurpak, it always seems to be discounted or at least slightly cheaper, and we're just used to Lurpak by this rate. But yeah, so the oven preheated. What is it supposed to be? Is it supposed to be 190? And let's see how these come out. So next job is the sparkly sugar, you see? I don't know if it's glitters very well on here. So basically you need to wet the top of each of these ugly boys, anything to make them more attractive, and then stick this on. If I run out of this, I've actually got some, where are they? Some hundreds and thousands. So if I run out of the sugar, I can then go onto these and just pour that over. I might actually put these on as well. Oh. Sorry, I'll brush them around a bit. There we go, right. Let's get them in the oven. So how long? We'll do 10 minutes and I'll check. And 10 minutes later, they are all out. They smell so good, honestly. I know they're not the prettiest. That one's actually a bit burnt, but not this dark. I mean, they look This shows how unevenly my oven cooks, because they're all dark on one side and light on the other, but it's fine. So that's the biggest tray. They're the more failure of the group. And these are the ones that went really well, although some are quite dark. That's not burnt, it's just quite dark brown. But the lighting on this is really bad because it makes the lights look really light and the darks are really dark. They're not that burnt. That looks black on my camera. It's not black, I can assure you. But they look so good and I can't wait to try them. Just got to leave them to cool now. I'm supposed to put them on a wire rack, but we don't actually have any. So they'll just have to sit like this. I'm sure that'll be fine, but I can't wait to try one. So I finished Book Lovers last night, finally. I say finally, it didn't actually take me that long to read. I really enjoyed it. For a girl who claims to be sci-fi fantasy, and I tend to not read romancy fantasy, you know, like there's a lot of stories out there which are fantasy or advertised as fantasy, but they are pretty much romance. As a girl who claims to not enjoy that sort of thing, I really enjoyed Emily Henry's Book Lovers. So let's get into a really quick review. I'll probably post a full version of this on my TikTok, and I'll have a written up version as well on my Goodreads probably, as well as my Bookstagram, Instagram, whatever you want to call it. But in brief, I really enjoyed it. It's a 5-star read from me. Definitely going to pick up her other books, especially if I go on holiday and have like a sunbathing holiday. I can see myself just laying there in a sunbed, the sun beating down, cocktail next to me, food next to me, loads of food next to me, just reading on my Kindle. I can envision that for myself, for my future. I'll try and manifest it. I don't believe in manifestation, but I'm manifesting it with my ugly nails right now. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. What I will say is the only downfall for me was the lack of representation for minority groups. But other than, because all the characters are white and straight, apart from one couple who mentioned briefly in passing that they're a lesbian couple, I believe, but there's not really anything else other than that. But I still really enjoyed it. Hopefully she'll have better representation for her other books, as this is my first one by her, but she's got a new one coming out in April. So I don't know when about in April, probably middle of April. So maybe she'll have improved a little bit by then. But highly recommend. I really like the relationship between them. There was no red flags. He didn't beat her up or anything like that, like there were certain love stories that are going around at the minute. He never insulted her. They didn't really have proper arguments. The arguments were more related to what they wanted to do in their life. So I wouldn't call them arguments as such. It's more them saying, him wanting to move back home and her wanting to live in the city, sort of thing. But yeah, they were a very good couple together. There was really good chemistry between them. I also really liked her relationship with her sister. I think that was one of the key elements of the story for me, was not just this love story, but also this sibling relationship and her trying to sort of be less of a mother figure to her younger sister, because she had to be that when their mum died when they were quite young. So there's quite a lot about her giving up control and her sister having secrets from her, because the sister doesn't want her to do everything and make choices for her for the rest of her life, essentially. But yeah, really enjoyed it. I liked the small town setting. I liked them getting to know other locals, and it was just so good. And I'm definitely going to read her other books now. So yes, very happy that I read this. So my next book, like last time and the time before, I have already picked out because I wanted to get something in time, just in case I finished Emily Henry's book early, which I did, because there was about 30 pages left and I hit the epilogue and I was like, epilogues aren't normally this long. And I was correct, it was only 4 pages, and the final sort of 5% of the book was it the start of Beach Read? Or was it the new one that's coming out? Might be Happy Place, actually. Yeah, the end of the book was the start of Happy Place, which I haven't read. I didn't want to read that, I wanted to read the book in full. Does anyone else do this? I don't like reading the start of the next book. It's not a thing I like doing, but it kind of threw me a bit. So luckily, I picked out my next book already, so that clip will be inserted here. So I am about to finish Book Lovers by Emily Henry, so it's time to pick a new book, because I'll definitely finish that tonight, if not before tonight, and I'll need something to read. So hopefully one of these I pick out, which I've got the basket here, hopefully one of these is another library book, or a book that's available on my library. So Looking at Chic. So there they all are. There's not many left now. I think I just counted 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there'll be 8 left after today. So maybe I'll have to do this challenge again later in the year. I'll give that a try because I have enjoyed this challenge. It's given me a chance to try books that are not really my typical genre. But anyway, so there they all are. Mixing up. I want that one. Another blue one. Oh no. I say oh no, I will read it, but Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I can't read my own handwriting, but I've got horror. Great, I'm not great with horror, but it's fine. We're finishing on a, I mean I've heard good things, so maybe it's a high, but we might be finishing on a low, or might have some nightmares this week, but yeah, that's my next book. So yes, I am going from a romance to a horror. They don't really match up, do they? It's fine. Yeah, so I'm about 10% of the way through the book. I think I've read the first 2 chapters. She's just moved into the house. I'm not too sure what to expect yet. I'm reading it on Kindle, so it was quite cheap to buy on there. I couldn't find it on any of my libraries, so I bought it on Kindle, but I think it was around 6 or 7 quid, so it's not that expensive. But on Kindle, so the cover is really difficult to see, but throughout the story so far there's been quite a lot of drawings, which I'm guessing is what's related to the story because it's called Hidden Pictures. There's a lot of child drawings. I think it's going to be one of those that's kind of like a child haunting situation, potentially imaginary friend, and they tend to be quite scary. I don't watch horror films other than Scream. I really like the Scream series, but I don't see them as horror. I see them more as like a dark comedy. I mean, I do watch kiddie horror, if you call it like that, like Stranger Things. I really enjoyed The Woman in Black, you know, the Daniel Radcliffe film that came out probably about 10, 11 years ago now. Really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that book as well. If I read horror, it tends to be gothic horror or like gothic style horror, because obviously Woman in Black the book came out relatively recently. It wasn't a Victorian book, but I quite like, you know, like Dracula, Frankenstein. Is Frankenstein really a horror? Is that more sci-fi? Jekyll and Hyde, you know, those sort of, I guess even Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights could kind of be seen as horror. Rebecca, that's another good one. I think that's more of a modern one, isn't it? Those sort of horrors are the type of things I tend to read. I don't really read modern style horrors because it's too realistic. I haven't watched any of like The Exorcist or any films like that, so we'll see how this goes. But it's okay so far, I suppose. If I will still vlog this, but yeah, we'll see how I go. Maybe there'll be clips of me like crying in bed or like hiding or something. I can already see what my thumbnail's going to be for that video, but yeah, we shall see. But it's okay so far. I'm enjoying it as like a normal story. It's probably not the most exciting story at the moment, but obviously it's not supposed to be because the horror hasn't started yet. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. It was on my list. I did decide I wanted to include a horror in my challenge, so we are reading the horror. Wish me luck. But anyway, thank you for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed my failure of cooking part. Yeah, it tasted nice. That's the main thing. I never half liked them, even if they were a bit of a failure. I might try and do some more baking in the next one potentially. We'll see what time I've got. But yes, thank you for watching. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Bookstagram. The links will be in the description. I've got like a link tree set up so you can find everything. You can even find my Goodreads and my story graph on there if you're nosy. So have a look on there. But thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.